honestly, I came off of the challenge and I was like, I'm best friends with everyone. I didn't know there was actual like beef like that. So I'm pretty naive when it comes to these things.
So how are you guys feeling this morning? How was it watching back? Give me the update about how you're feeling.
Well, it is 7 a.m. and I've been talking about the cookout for 2 hours. No, I was kidding. Yeah, it feels good. We got eliminated last night, but thankfully, that was a couple months ago for us. So we kind of moved forward from that.
Yeah, it was very emotional, I think, watching it back, especially when they threw in my ugly cry. I was like, come on, like, you really had to throw that. It was definitely, emotions were high, especially with my injury. I just felt like a little bit of like I let Derick down in a sense, but at the same time, like I left it all out there. Like I couldn't have done more. And there were so many times that I just wanted to give up during that elim, like being so sore. So I'm proud of us.
No, seriously, like the fact that you had a pulled hamstring, like I think legit you did above and beyond anything I could have ever expected there. Like I actually thought, you're going to be like throwing tires at me or something. I was like, she just will not even be able to run right now. I
was this close. I was this close.
It would have been hilarious. I see you like rolling the tires back.
So what was the problem? It was just like the base wasn't solid?
I think it was the strategy of like the other team was able to do the pancake, but the way Derick saw our strategy had to be different because I'm 5'1". He's 6 foot. So there was problems even in the beginning of the elim with the pole, with the tires being like over 10 feet tall. Derick had to reach on his tippy toes. So I couldn't reach not one tire coming off. And we tried to tell TJ, like, how is this going to work? I can't even like jump up and like get them off because you have to like pull them off. Mm-hmm. And Derick couldn't help me. There was such strict rules. Like he was taking them off and giving them to me and I was running. They wouldn't even allow that. So we had to figure something out. Derick made like a step stool and put 2 tires underneath so I could literally like climb up and get them off, which I felt like was not showed at all. Plus that was unsturdy. So I was like wobbling, like falling off, like rolling my ankle every time I get them. And then the strategy on the platform itself, Derick, do you want to explain that?
Basically like what Shannon said, like there was like extreme like height disadvantage and I knew that was going to be a problem in this challenge. So what I think I overcompensated for that. And my original thinking was if we do the pancake strategy, once we start getting to the top, Shannon won't even be able to put the tires on. Yeah. So I thought instead, let's just I stack vertically up, Shannon stacks horizontally around, and this way she can keep stacking tires. And then once we get to the top, I can just finish it off. But in the end, that ended up being an incredibly horrible strategy because the base just wasn't sturdy enough. I didn't realize these tires were deflated to like 10 PSI. So they just had no rigidity behind them. Shannon couldn't even stand on one of them straight.
Oh,
it was so frustrating.
Yeah. Hashtag Deflategate.
So obviously, I know, Shannon, you were playing up like, oh, your injury, like you were okay. But how surprised were you that they actually threw you in, or were you guys totally expecting it at that point?
So me and Derick were like kind of like he was spitting game, like he was, doing damage control. And I was just like walking fine, stretching in the gym, had my workout set on, like, was acting like I was okay and not just like limping around the compound like a target. I actually wasn't surprised. Desi and David actually approached us right before and sat us down and like gave us the decency to let us know why and that we were going in. I also thought maybe it would have been Kayla and Leo, or David wanted to take a big risky shot at Tyson. So I didn't know. We didn't know all day that it was us until like right beforehand, which I get it. I have an injury. Everybody knows, and no one wants to get to a final with somebody that was injured. I wouldn't want to. So I couldn't really blame him at all. Plus they had the decency to let us know. So I wouldn't say blindsided, maybe a little surprised, but.
Yeah, I still remember when they sat us down before the elimination, they were like, hey, just want to let you guys know it's going to be you guys. And this was on April 1st. So I was like, it's a good joke, right? You guys, you got me. Good job. You got me. But I like all day, like I knew me and Shannon were like on the chopping block. Well, it's actually funny. The previous night when we were after the challenge, we had gone out to the bar. I had no idea that we were even like a name in consideration. So I was like, shots. I was like ripping shots. And then
I'm like,
Shannon
Derick.
I know. You were the one that told me. You were like, hey, I just talked to Justine and like, it might be us. And I was like, everyone, let's take showers. All right, time to back it up, guys. Let's go home, go to bed early. We got elimination tomorrow. We got to be rested. And then the next day,
they didn't show the bar scenes at all.
No, they didn't. They're not showing anything social. So then the next day, we're like, I'm campaigning all day. I was like, okay, we got to like get our names off this list. And eventually, I realized it was basically going to be like us, or I thought Leo and Kayla. So I was like campaigning pretty hard for Leo and Kayla to go in. And ultimately, I think what it came down to was Desi and Kayla just had like a really, really good alliance together. And, you know, really hindsight, I think where I fell in my game was like after a certain point, I stopped forming new alliances. So after Shan went home, Desi was kind of I don't want to say like on an island, but like Shan was like probably one of her number ones. And I think that was like a great time to like form like a new bond with her. But you know, I just like never did. So that ended up really hurting me.
Yeah, I know you're close with you got really close with Alyssa and Kyland. I do have to ask about, you know, the cookout, this idea of like quote unquote revenge. Where do you kind of stand on that? Has your opinion changed about maybe like even how it was phrased, or talk me through that? Because I know there's a bit of backlash there. Yeah,
well, 100%. I do have conflict with like the phrasing of the word revenge. And even on the show, I was very careful not to use that word in my interviews because it was never about that. It was literally just about a lack of trust. And going into this game, I was very, very, very careful about like who I wanted to work with. And I felt comfortable working with Alyssa because I felt like we were working from like a mutual background, and we both were like, okay, we're both very aware of like who we can trust. I was like, okay, maybe I can like trust you. And then we started building up our circle slowly from there. And then we like pulled in Angela because I was like, okay, yeah, this is also like a neutral third party. And then we started working with the Love Island girls, who we were like, okay, they're also like a neutral third party. And I wanted to kind of stay away from anything that was like, this person has like burned me in the past, and I'm not, and like this could happen again.
I know you were at Tiffany's birthday. Xavier was there. How are you with the big? Is the Big Brother cast like okay, or how are you feeling?
Look, I will say I am probably one of the most naive people on this planet, so you might have to ask them to get like the actual perspective on it. But I think we're good. Honestly, I came off of the challenge, and I was like, I'm best friends with everyone. I didn't know there was actual like beef like that. So I'm pretty naive when it comes to these things. I thought it was like good. I had a great time, but you know, I don't know. Maybe if you ask someone else, they would say something different.
With your experience on the challenge, would you guys both do it again?
I don't know. Although I really like the competitiveness because I love that side of me when it comes out, and I love the challenges, and I love the show as a whole. I think the living conditions were just the main challenge. Like having showers, sharing toilets.
I heard the food wasn't that good either.
Everybody was getting food poisoning. It was just awful, like not eating right or
no, like
right.
Like let me tell you how bad this food was. So it was catered. This is how they like reeled you in. They're like, okay, you're gonna have catered food. They pull out these like trays of food and they would label each one of them. But the people that were cooking, you know, I think they spoke Spanish. So like the labeling was a little suspect. And there was this one dish that they kept giving us that was called baked meat. And the first day they got it, some people in the house don't eat pork. So they were like, we need to figure out what kind of meat this was. And I eat everything. So I was like, I got you guys. Let me try it. So I pick up a slab of it and I take a bite and I'm chewing it. And I'm like, okay. And everyone's like, okay, so do you think it's beef or pork? And I was like, honestly,
it was just
I don't know. Like, yeah. I legit could not distinguish what type of meat this was. That is like the extent to how it was like nuked in this oven.
I want to say like I would want to do it again if like the price was right and the living conditions were right. But right now, after my experience, you know, obviously coming from Love Island and Hawaii and the villa and the mansion, it was just completely just a different experience that I feel like I didn't like mentally prepare myself for. So I don't.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
man, I wish I had those problems. Coming from a legit cardboard box, you know, everything's really a step up for me. I think I agree with Shannon. You know, like I think there's like some tweaks to how the show was done. Maybe just baked chicken instead of baked meat. I had a great experience. I had fun the whole time. I think they do a killer job with casting. The competitions were a good time. So, you know, there's a possibility.
Do you guys think the show portrayed everything? Like, there's so many people in there and only 40 minutes. We can't see everything.
Yeah,
Was there
tough.
anything that you feel like they missed, or how did you feel like it was edited? Because I just feel like there's just so many people. They can't even show half the people.
Yeah, I mean, you said it pretty spot on. Like, it's a 24-hour day and only a small amount for the episode. There's so much stuff that just was not aired.
Yeah. Okay, let me see. Okay, one thing I haven't talked in any of these interviews yet, but let me put some respect on his name. Giovanni, like, also Danny. Like, okay, so I really wish they just highlighted people's humor. Danny McCrae, honestly, one of the funniest guys in that house to me. And then he left first week, but Giovanni was hilarious. There was one scene that I wish they had on was when we were all like out that first night. I think Sicko Mode came on at the bar, and it was like out like a light. And then Giovanni came up behind me, and then he was like, fall right now. So then when he was like out like a light, he had me do like a dead fall, and then he like carried me in the bar. Like, it was that guy.
Giovanni is my boy. Like, they don't
honestly
care from the bar scenes either. So
Yeah.
also,
I wish we got to see that.
me and Derick in our daily challenge, we actually got the equation wrong, and we had to go again.
Oh my God.
Again with my injury. And they did not show that.
Oh my God.
It would have looked sick, though. Like, we would have looked really cool.
It would have been so funny, like, because me and Shannon were so confident when we came down off of this car container, because I was like, this is just math. Like, I can do math easily. So I was like so cocky doing the equation. I'm like 15 times 4. I don't even need to think about it. 60. I got you. I was like, Shannon, you don't even need to worry about this equation. This is easy. And then we came down to, and I was like, okay, 2, 4, 3, 3. You want to pull the lever, Shannon? She's like, nah, you good. You can pull the lever. I was like, nah, Shannon, you pull the lever. And we're like, okay, all right, fine. Let's just do it together. And we pull the lever, and she's just like, that's wrong. And my world just like shattered. And I was like questioning the foundations of math. I was like, this just can't be anything other than this number. And we had to do it again. And we actually like misremembered something. And then we did all of it round 2.
It was so embarrassing, but it would have been good TV.
Yeah, they made you guys look good. I mean, I don't know. Derick, just give me the quick update. Are you moving? How are you in Claire? What's going on there? What's the update?
We're moving out to LA, Sharon. We had to ditch you from New York. You know, those rent prices couldn't stay. So we're out in LA now. The weather's pretty amazing. Right now it is semi-temporary. We're looking for a more long-term lease, but it's looking like it's going to be here for a while.
Nice. Well, congrats. Moving.
Thank you.
Very exciting.